now 2 minutes past 1. I will like to thank you all for being here today for the Lunch Learn at B Advisory. My name is Tsungai Masendeke, a certified financial planner, and I will be your co-host this beautiful, beautiful afternoon. I am aware that it is now 2 minutes past 1, and as people that are respectful of time, I would love us to get this show rolling. I would like us to kickstart the conversation on how to create the blueprint to a sustainable business. Thank you once again for making time to be here. I am so excited to bring onto the stage my wonderful, brilliant, bubbly, and extremely competent, confident, the fantastic Brenda Hurudza to be my co-host this afternoon. Good afternoon, Brenda, and feel free to introduce yourself to our wonderful audience this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Tsungi. So I'm Brenda Hurudza, and I'm the founder of B Advisory. And thank you everyone for coming in and for spending time with us at the Lunch and Learn at B Advisory. So this is going to be the first of our many webinars that we are going to have as we look at the sustainability of businesses. So sit back and relax and enjoy the ride.
So everybody gets a free lunch pack today in the form of information that will help you to spur your business to the next level. So without much ado, Brenda, right? We're talking about the sustainability of businesses here. And I want to hear from you, what does sustainability actually mean? What is it all about?
Okay, so I was looking at the definition of sustainability, and you know what, it's actually very interesting. Because when you Google the word sustainability, it talks about saving the environment, it talks about pollution, it talks about dealing with the community and all those things. And something that is very interesting as well is the hammering of sustainability. As you notice, usually it's emphasized on big businesses, and small business is not so much. And when I was analyzing that, I was wondering, why is there a difference between sustainability to small to medium-sized enterprises, but then to corporate entities, you know, they place so much emphasis on it. And I noticed one thing that is different from the two: financial stability. And based on that, I realized, you know, as much as we don't talk about it, is actually something that is very critical for business. So I'm not going to be talking about sustainability from the corporate governance framework of saving the planet, because there's no way you can save the planet when you are broke. So today we are going to hammer in the sustainability from the financial aspect of it. And I'm going to put it across in a very simple way. So sustainability, from my understanding, is just having the right processes and policies in place to ensure that the business can actually operate in the foreseeable future. So we are talking about creating legacy here. We are talking about generational wealth. How do we manage our businesses? What policies should we have? What processes should we have? So you can see that sustainability is a broad term, because it not only looks at the financial aspect. There's people, there's IT, there's marketing, there's even the mindset. Psychology itself plays a big role. But today we are going to narrow it to the financial aspect, and we are going to narrow it further because it's too broad to management accounting. So today our sustainability is going to be focusing on management. And then as we proceed with other webinars, we look at other aspects as well that deal with sustainability.
Fantastic, Brenda. I love what you said there, that you know what, the definition for big business, for corporates, cannot be the same as that for small to medium enterprises. We are really going to be honing into ensuring that you are a going concern, ensuring that you are able to keep your doors open. So tell me, Brenda, in your definition, you indicated that to be sustainable, we need to make sure that we have these management accounts. What are those? Why are they important?
Okay, so from my, I think just to make it simple, So management accounts, generally, we are looking at the idea of bringing information, financial information in place, and then we generate reports out of it. And I believe a lot of people are familiar with profit and loss account, balance sheet, because I think those are the popular terms that you hear when it comes to management accounting. And some people come up with fancy ways to say a management pack. So, but then within the management pack, you see the same things, but then obviously to customize the nature of the business, they put in other areas, other reports as well to make them more relevant to the business. So some people put in cash flows, budgets, all those things, and all what we are trying to do is just to make sure that we interpret our information, financial information, on a timely basis for us to move to the next level. So the next question, I believe so many people ask the question, what is the main difference really between management accounts? Just to give you an idea, we had a client the past few days who actually wanted to apply for a loan. And then the bank said, you know what, we want management accounts. And then when the client eventually saw the management accounts that we prepared, he was taken a bit aback to say, no, you guys know, these are not management accounts, because his understanding of management accounts was the financial statements that I think a lot of people are familiar with. So management accounts, really, these are reports that you present. It depends with the company, monthly basis, quarterly basis, depending with how frequent you want to look at them. But then when you look at the financial statements, you see that now this is like a broader, it looks at the broader level. And now we start talking about what are the policies the company has, how is the company be operating for the next 12 months. And then we start talking about the accountability of directors. So financial statements is broader. And it has got a certain way that you are supposed to present. But management accounts, this is more like in-house, where the management looks at how do we manage our finances, how do we present our stuff, how do we move to the next level using those reports I was talking about. But at B Advisor, we take it a bit further though. We don't just look at the profit and loss and the balance sheet. So what we have noticed is that not so many people are familiar with the big words in the reporting, and not only that, the time to analyze all those reports. So we have actually we've actually implemented a process whereby now, in addition to your profit and loss that you are familiar to in the balance sheet and all those things, we also add in a visual presentation of it, which we call the financial dashboard. So it's like a visual snapshot, just shows you in summary what your business, how your business is operating, just to make it more customized and also make it more friendly. And saves time, because by looking at the visual snapshot, I think within 5 minutes, you can make a decision. So in summary, that's the management accounts that we are talking about today.
Wow, Brenda, my head is lit right now. There are buzzers everywhere in my head right now, and I really want to learn a bit more about these management accounts. Can you tell us, Brenda, as a small to medium company, why is it actually important in terms of ensuring sustainability to have these management accounts? Because a lot of us are focused on the annual financial returns. Why? Because we have to submit those documents that are required by SARS. But outside of that, why is it actually important for sustainability for us to prepare or to have these management accounts prepared?
Okay, so management accounts, for me, I see them as a tool for you to be in a position to make decisions, a tool for you to plan, a tool for you to control. Because remember, sometimes there are some expenses or there are some accounts that flashes through, and then you have to come up with ways of managing or controlling them. Not only that, it's a decision-making tool. So for example, if you see that you are doing well, I think it motivates you to move to the next level. So by looking at management accounts, I know a lot of people have got a misconception that management accounts are there because when I need to do my tax returns or when I need to apply for a loan from the bank, but really they are very critical for you to manage your business, because you find yourself, I also have got a lot of examples as well, where a situation whereby you believe you are doing so well. It's just like you managing your own finances. You just spend without a budget. So you just spend, you think, yeah, you've got enough money in the bank account, only to realize when you need to apply for a loan at the
sorry, Brenda, you're on mute.
Okay, so let me just take you back. So I'm saying it's the same as plan. What is it? Budgeting your own finances. Imagine operating without you planning for your finances. You just live as and when. So it's even worse when it comes to a business, because by the time, for example, you want to apply for a loan or you want to pay to the tax authorities and you realize there's nothing in the account, it's difficult, or it will be too late for you to make decisions. So management accounts really play that role to make sure that you manage your finances in order. And also there's another aspect of management accounts as well that is very critical, that most people don't really realize, the non-financial aspect of it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to share with you something. I think it makes sense if I give examples. So let me just share again. So I'm just going to share with you this. Yeah. So this is a visual presentation I was talking about, to say, okay, instead of you having the profit and loss account, trial balance, and all those fancy things, here you can actually do it in a very simple way, visual. So if you can look at this, just by looking at this, I just put 4 slides here. But then within these 4 slides here, you see that I've actually dealt with a lot of things, not only the finances, but even the non-financial aspect of it. So let's start off with the first one, the trend analysis. So let's assume this is a business that just started and the business is doing very well. If you look at the periods, we can look at the periods as the months, let's say maybe February, March, April, or whatever period that you want to look at. If you look at period 1, the business is still starting, but then the business has just started at a good level, because you see that is actually making not really a significant profit, but I think it's good to motivate us to move to the next level. As you move to period 2, you see that the business is actually doing well. So that means they are doing something good here. We move again to period 3. We move to period, but then in period 3, if you can look at period 3, things are changing a bit. There's something is not really right. And imagine you are not looking at your management accounts. You are just thinking, because I started off nicely, I've been making, money has been coming into my business, so I'm really doing well. If I'm analyzing this, then you know that, there's something happening within period 3. As you move to period 4, I think you can see now that the business is actually struggling, if I can put it mildly that way, because you see that now our expenses are actually over, they are now more than the revenue that we are generating. So let's go further now. Okay, the next thing when we've got this situation, we say, okay, so let's manage the expenses. I think that's the most common way of dealing with problems. When we have got financial problems, the next thing is, how can we cut our costs? It's never about what can we do with other things, but the first thing is expenses. So let's look at again the example of the expenses again here. We've got different expenses. We've got our normal marketing, staff welfare, travel, telephone, salaries, and rent paid. Just like the trend analysis I was explaining before, you see that period 1, period 2, period 3, our expenses are progressing. And it's not a bad thing, because naturally, if a business is growing, we expect your salaries and wages to grow. Not necessarily maybe increasing the salaries per se, but maybe you need to have more people joining in the business, which is a nice thing. Then the next thing as well, we also expect that maybe the marketing and the promotion as well should also go in line with the growth in business, which is good. Staff welfare, the employees need to be motivated. So we should do something. Let's assume we do Friday drinks or month-end drinks or whatever that you like to do within your entity. But then there's something that is very different. If you compare the first slide and the second one, not slide as such, but the first graph and the second one. I don't know if you can see nicely. I'm trying to move around. Okay. Yes. So you can see that here, the revenue is going down, but the expenses are going up. But then the expenses that are going up are very interesting. Is the salaries and wages, which is the significant one, and the marketing and promotion, and then there's also staff welfare. So we assume, so if I would come to you, Tsonga, and say, you know what, my business is doing so well. I even recruited some new employees, and you know what, to top it up, I like to improve the morale of my employees. So we've got Friday drinks, and then the marketing, our marketing is doing so well because we are spending so much in marketing. I think you'd say, yeah, you know what, you're doing so well. You are going places. But then if you look at this picture I'm showing you, it's showing me something different. Everything seems to be going well, but my profit is going down. Even my revenue is going down. I'm now heading towards a loss. And then let's take it further again. Let's look at the third slide here. If you look at the third graph, we see the invoice versus paid. Okay, let's look at the revenue side of it. Okay, how much are we really invoicing and how much are we getting paid? So paid, yeah, I'm looking at the cash flows now. Now I've changed the gear. I'm now looking at the cash flow side of things. You see that stage process, what is it? Period 1, period 2, period 3. It looks normal, but you see that things are progressively going down the hill. So my things are not really moving according to plan because my revenue, I'm losing my revenue as well. The money that is getting to my bank account is actually lower, which is actually the cash flow. And I've made it a bit more interesting here by adding that banking slide by I think on your side it's your left, but on my side is my right, where I'm now looking at my bank account cash flow. Slowly, next month, I may not be in a position to pay my salaries. So by looking at the snapshot, you know, within these 4 graphs, you see that I've looked at my profit and loss. I've looked at my revenue, my data, which is the balance sheet. I've looked at my cash flows, which is the balance sheet. And I've also analyzed my expenses. So by looking at this, you see that, no, it's not a matter of me having enough employees to make my business successful. Maybe there's something wrong that I need to address. Maybe the people that I have are not properly trained, or maybe they don't really understand what needs to be done, or maybe my culture is not the right culture for these people to flourish. Because you see, I was thinking, because I have more employees and I'm bringing in a bit of employee morale and I'm doing my marketing and promotion, I was expecting that my revenue should go up and I should generate profit. But that's exactly the opposite of what is happening. So by looking at this, you can see that I've looked at marketing. So maybe, how are we really marketing? Are we dealing with the right clientele? Do we have the right target clients? How are we managing our clientele, or are we just spending money? And then we'll start off, maybe I think having Friday drinks works, but maybe they are not really interested in Friday drinks. Maybe they are something that are more personal. Maybe they are depressed. Maybe they've got financial problems, or maybe they just want someone to talk to. Maybe I need to bring in a psychologist or whatever, or I need to have team building exercises for these people to work, to know how to work together effectively so that at least the business can grow. So after looking at this, you can see that now I need to rush and talk to my marketing guy. You know what, we are spending so much, but we are not getting results. HR person, what is happening? We've got enough employees. We are doing so much to make sure that at least we can, or are we not, or maybe are not doing enough, I don't know, because things are going the other way. What should we do next? So we have looked at marketing, we've looked at HR, we've looked at the finances. We even maybe need to look at the culture itself. So just by having this management accounting and having this visual board in front of us, you see that we can make strategic decisions to move our business to the next level. So it's not just for applying for a loan at the bank or for SaaS. This is actually a tool to move to the next level, to sustain your business. Yeah. You're muted, Tsungi.
I love what you're saying, Brenda, because at the end of the day, it's about ensuring that the business stays a going concern. Can we keep our doors open next month? And if we can make some of these decisions earlier on before the ship sinks, it will help ensure that we can create generational wealth. We can create businesses that can survive even long after we are gone. I see in the chat room there, we have got someone who's actually asked a fantastic question, and I will read it out to you so that you can address it. And please, guys, let us know in the chat room, are you finding value from understanding the importance of management accounts? If you've got any questions as well, please make sure to use the chat room. I would love to serve you, would love to make sure that you find this as valuable as possible so that at the end of the day, we can know your business will make it to 2030, 2040, 2050, 2060. So Ntabi Singh asks, how do you think this dashboard would help an SME entrepreneur relate to budgeting and variance reports that are in-house produced monthly? And this is Ntabi Singh of Life of Different.
Okay, so you can see that by having this visual, I can actually even add budgeted figures. So, for example, the invoice versus paid. Remember, you make a strategic decision to say, you know what, we want to generate so much. By end of 2022, we want to have maybe our revenue should have reached, let's say, 22 million. I'm just being optimistic and a visionary here. Let's say it's 22 million. I need to have 22 million by December. But then you remember, but remember, when you are strategizing, you start cutting the ideas into bits and pieces. So October, how much should we generate? Or November, how much should you generate in December? So Tabi is saying how we can do it here now is the invoice versus paid. We can even have a new graph that we can actually incorporate to say budgeted versus actual. So you see, the visual is not one size fits all. We have to actually adjust it to meet your needs. If you want to compare with budgets, then you put in the budgeted figures to say, okay, based on budget, how far are we? What should we do? Should we cut off on some of the things, or should we increase, or should we spend more? So you can actually incorporate for a small business, and it's very critical, especially for a business, because now you can actually look for opportunities if you are falling short, or you can actually maintain if you are feeling like you are doing the best, but also it's just informative for you where you are with your business.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So I actually came across a statistic recently that said for a lot of small to medium-sized businesses, they normally only have cash flows for up to 3 weeks and then they're done. So I want to hear from you, Brenda, what difference does it make to a successful business to actually have these management accounts so that at the end of the day, we are primed, we are equipped not to just have 3 weeks worth of cash flows, but cash flows that will see us go into generations and sustainability of our businesses.
Okay, so obviously I would like to take notice of that sometimes based on the size of the business, maybe the setup may not be feasible for you to do it on a monthly basis. But what I can just say is you need to do it as frequently as possible based on the circumstances of your business. Because another business, maybe there's not so much activity. So for you to do it every month, you might actually be looking at the same figure for the next 2 months. But then for a business that is more active, maybe you need to look at it on a monthly basis. But then what I can simply say is let's do it more frequently in line with the size and nature of your business so that you can make informed decisions. Because if you look at, for example, I think I once said this before, but then for the benefit of the people that don't know about it, I was attending this webinar where they were talking about what do billionaires do? What sets apart billionaires from normal people? And then they were talking about having these analyzing management accounts, but then there's another one that made it, that was very interesting to me. They said, billionaires, they look at their bank accounts every day. So I'm thinking, looking at the bank accounts every day, isn't it a bit daunting and a bit scary? Because sometimes you don't even want to see this SMS. But then they were saying, when you look at your bank account every day, it forces you to plan. Because if you are working with a budget, like what Tabi Singh was talking about, then you know money that is coming into in your bank account. Then you know that I need to follow up on Sungai now. I need to follow up on Brenda. I need to follow up on these guys. What else can we do to make sure that at least we've got enough? So they were saying each and every day you need, as a business owner, you need to check your bank account. And then another interesting part as well was to say, you know what, money, cash flows, like what you're talking about, it likes attention. money loves attention. So it gives you attention, then you actually flourish, and you won't have a situation where by now you run around last minute, you say, but I only have enough money to cover my bills for the next 2 days, but then afterwards I can't. But if you're looking at it every day, I believe you'll be able to make decisions in time for you to make sure that you are sustainable.
Wow, wow, wow. Money loves attention. If you're in a relationship with your financial dashboard, guess what? You will actually be able to have a sustainable business. Before things happen, you've already forecasted them, you've already seen them, and you can make prudential-wise decisions to ensure continuity. I will ask our lovely guests, if you've got questions again, please do put them in the chat room. I'm mindful that we have approximately 3 minutes left. While we're waiting for those questions to stream into the chat, Brenda, I'll ask you one last question. What challenges can one actually face in the preparation of these management accounts?
Okay, so just to summarize, to take cognizance of time as well, you can see that all these graphs that we have presented here, there's information behind it for you to come up with figures. And the challenge that most people face is not having the information at hand. Not only that, not knowing what to keep, especially in terms of record keeping. Yes, you tell me I need to keep my records, but for how long, what type of records and stuff like that. And another problem is, oh, yes, I might have all the information, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to prepare the financial, the profit and loss account with the balance sheet. And the other challenge is just the mindset that is there as well, that people there's still a problem of, I don't see them as important somehow, because I only see them as a regulatory thing. So it becomes a challenge, especially if someone wants to move to the next level, and then maybe the people that are working with, they believe it's not necessary. So they may not even give them attention, if I can put it that way.
All right, excellent. So guys, we said earlier on, money loves attention. Your financial records love attention. Your management accounts really do love attention. So I know Brenda, and I've just checked here, the chat room seems quiet. What special offer do you have for these brilliant people that have been with us today, that have been listening on this blueprint to sustainable business?
Okay, as a token of appreciation for everyone who came to our lunch and learn today, we are going to be offering a 20% discount on all the management accounts that you might want us to help you with. But not only that, we are also going to offer you a free consultation as well. But don't be discouraged if maybe you've got other services as well that you might want us to assist you, because we don't only do management accounts. I think we are also strategic advisors as well, where we look at all these things and help you to actually manage your finances. But not only that, forward looking, how can I put everything in place, your auditing, your taxation, your secretarial. So if you need all those services as well, we also offer the same benefits for you today, for just appreciating, and as a token of appreciation of saying thank you so much for sparing some 30 minutes with us to support us with our lunch and learn today at Be Advisory.
Brilliant, 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 Brenda. Can I also ask that before everyone jumps off, I've got 2 questions here that I would really kindly ask you to address for us before you introduce the poll, Brenda. The first one is from Nino, who says, effective debt collection is a key to healthy cash flow. Any ideas on effective debt collection?
Okay, so there's also, I believe there's a plan to everything, and there's a process to everything. So debt collection as well, it's a process based, and I think that's why you see there are even companies that just focus on debt collection. So what we need to actually, it starts from having the right clients. Which type of clients do you have? Are these the clients that we really want? And then from there, you also understand the characteristics. I think it goes to the nature of the client. And then your payment terms, what is your policy within the business in terms of you get, because there's no use for you to say, when you are done, then you invoice. and then you give the client 60-day payment period, and then you say, I've got problems with my data's collection period. So you also need to have a policy that aligns with your operations to make sure that it's effective. So we need to actually get an understanding of what your data's policies, and then see means and ways of addressing the issues that you might have in terms of collecting your dues.
All right, awesome. And last question is, how do you graph out different bank accounts an SME may have? I know in your presentation, you showed us the banking graph. Is it possible to actually have multiple bank accounts being reflected in the dashboard?
Yes, yes, yes. So with the nice thing about visual presentation, you can have as much as you can, as long as you can understand, because sometimes if you put too many things on one thing, you end up getting lost. So you can have, if you have 3 bank accounts, you can put all of them. It's very possible to have more than 1 bank account on a graph.
All right, brilliant. Please, Brenda, introduce the poll to us. I would love to hear your input, ladies and gentlemen, before we close off our session.
Okay, let me just share.
All right,
can you
fantastic.
see?
Yes, we can see the poll. Thank you, Brenda. All right, there are only 3 questions. I will take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for making time to attend the first Lunch and Learn at Be Advisory. Like Brenda has already said, this is only the beginning. Please look out for future correspondence, future emails highlighting our next Lunch and Learns. And it's been fantastic being with you this afternoon. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, and we hope that you found this extremely beneficial. So please feel free, once you have finished the questions in the poll, you can gladly leave the room. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much, Tsungai, for hosting us.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, guys. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Just waiting. There are some people that are still completing the poll.
Thank you very much. It was an insightful meeting. I really appreciate. I learned a lot from this meeting. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you so much. Hey, how are you?
Thank
Hello,
you.
thank you.
Let me just, I think just a few. Yes.
Thank you, Brenda and the team. Great presentation.
Thank
See you
you.
next